I bought 3 types of strings. One will cost you about $5. One will cost you the shirt off your back. And the other will cost you
your legs, your body.
But is it worth it?
Oh, hi, didn't see you there. My name's Levon. I have unusually acidic sweat, known in the film industry as piss hands.
If your guitar strings look anything like this, you might have the same issue. With a fleet of more than 100 guitars, to keep all of my guitars without rusty strings would cost me hundreds of dollars a month. So, without naming any names, I spoke to some other piss-handed individuals and decided it was time I try some alternative string options. So, I'm gonna test regular XL strings, NYXL, and coated. The ulterior motive to this video is to get some guitar practice. I am a full-time single parent trying to pay the bills, and I don't get a lot of time to actually play guitar. So my goal is to play 30 minutes a day for a month, 10 minutes on each of these guitars, and see how the strings fare after that. And hopefully I'll get better at guitar. First up is standard XLs, and they're going on the Mustang. I will mention here, steel wool is a nightmare. It leaves fibers everywhere. I do not recommend it. It does work really well to polish frets really quickly without effort, but probably not worth it, especially if you're working on electrics or anything magnetic, or you don't want to ingest steel. Anyway, back to it. This brings us to a small but important detail about stringing a Mustang. The strings go in through the front of the tailpiece. That's counterintuitive because when you move it this way, it rotates forward, and you'd think that would be pulling the strings to a higher pitch, which is the opposite of what a trem bar usually does. And by trem, of course, I mean vibrato, vibrato,
Vibrato.
At any rate, because the entire bar also pivots forward on its axis, it does end up lowering the strings. You can see the bridge itself tilts forward with these strings. Next up is my 1986 Squire Contemporary Strat. Don't tell anyone, but this is secretly my favorite guitar to play in my entire collection. So it's getting the XS. Well, geez, when you cut the strings on a Strat style trem, leave more length than I did. And so today we're going to find out if XS stands for extra special or just expensive. Drop my phone. And thirdly, where is it? I was going to use my 65 Mustang for the third example, but it's buried too deep. So I think I'm going to restring this Kramer DMZ some number of thousands, maybe 1,000. Honestly, the biggest part of this challenge is going to be finding 30 minutes a day to play. Lol. One of the features of these guitars was extra pointy frets, and I don't know if you know anything about fret theory, but if you put an extra pointy top on it, it's just gonna wear sooner. These ones have definitely been leveled in the past. Lots of meat left though. And for our Kramer, we got the NYXL. Bend further, sing louder, stay in tune better than any guitar string ever made. You're about to be heard more clearly than ever before. Neither of these registered on my D'Addario points account. I guess the sound comparison won't be that accurate since I'm using 3 different types of guitars. At least 2 of them have humbuckers. This guy needs a setup. Let's do that now. All right, first up, these pots are scratchy AF, so let's have a look at the electronics and spray them with some Lloyds.
Lloyds. Available only at the source. By Radio Shack. For Circuit City.
Ooh, that's pretty. That's some quality electronics right there. Interestingly, all of these pots date from 1976. Lloyd, don't drink it. Well, this stuff evaporates quickly, so once you have it in there, just start wiggling these guys around. And that should do it. Lloyd. And I'm a broken record, but go backwards till you find the threading and then go forwards. Stop ruining everything you screw together. You'll hear and feel it click into the threads. And then you're safe to tighten her up. Now, I had thought when I looked this up, this was from 1978 or 79, but with the 76 pots, that seems a little unlikely they'd have a 3-year supply, but who knows? Now, 1976 is the year that Kramer stopped working with Travis Bean and started his own line of guitars, so this could be first year. That would be pretty cool. Or Kramer just stole a bunch of pots from Travis Bean when he left in 76 and was still using them whenever this was made. I'm going to see if I can find info on the serial number. All right, actually finding serial number information on these early models is pretty difficult, but this number, 1060-0160, seems to be fairly early, and I'm seeing a lot of 1976 and 77 labeled guitars on Reverb with much later numbers. So this could very well be first year Kramer, which is awesome. The internet also suggests that DMZs is short for Dynametals.
Dinobots, transform!
Referencing the metal hybrid construction. But I also read somewhere that it was short for DiMarzio, referencing the excellent quality DiMarzio pickups and electronics that were used. I don't know. Now the setup, everything is a little flat. They are quite far back in the saddle, so I think I'll adjust each saddle individually instead of adjusting the entire bridge. Now, I'm not going to go over this all with you, but basically, if the 12th fret is higher than the open note, this needs to come back, and if it's lower than the open note, it needs to move forward. That's the entirety of it. A little more digging online, and DMZ can't stand for do metal, whatever, because all of the models had that, and many of them had different model numbers. DMZ definitely refers to the partnership with Larry DiMarzio. It also looks like the DMZ series didn't come about until 1978 anyway. So the 1976 pots must have been stolen from Travis Bean. Now, I have to say, my initial impression of the XS's is that the plain strings sound a little nasal. They sound stifled by their coating. But when you plug it in, you don't really notice. All right, it's actually been 2 months. I did not come close to playing every day. I got about 10 days in, I played 30 minutes a day. But after that, life got in the way and I couldn't quite play as often as I wanted, and I wasn't even around the shop enough to play every day. So here we are. Now I'm just going to show you another demo of the strings after 2 months, and then I'll let you know how I think about them, when I think about them, where I think about them, and most importantly, what I think about them. Here we go. In the comments, let me know if you're able to tell which song I'm soloing over in each of those demos. As a hint, they're both from the 1970s. Now let's talk about these strings. All right, brass tacks. Tried 3 kinds of strings, 3 different prices. Aside from the slightly nasal sound on the XS from the coating, which I didn't really notice after a while, I can't hear a difference in any of these strings. I'll be perfectly frank. To say I could, I'd be out of my mind. I did use different guitars. Obviously that makes it harder, but they all just felt like guitar strings. Solid, quality, fine. But when it comes down to corrosion resistance, let's take a closer look. Starting with the classic XLs, the workhorse, you can see they are indeed tarnished and rusty. The plain strings are pretty much black. The D string has some corrosion, The two biggest wound strings seem to look decent. There's a couple of spots. But yeah, they're rusty. That brings us to the NYXLs, which are $750. They're not 3 times the price, but they're more than twice as expensive by quite a lot. And they are just as tarnished, if not worse. Well, depends on the string. The D string is more tarnished, but the G has a little bit of chrome. Anyway, rusty. And that brings us to our XS strings, which come with this excessively attractive Apple-like packaging. Let's have a look at the strings. Here they are, holding up nicely. There's a little bit of tarnish, but it might just be finger dirt. Yeah, a lot of the dirt, a lot of what looks like tarnishing is just gross finger stuff. Actually, the wound strings show a little bit of tarnishing. So overall, the XSs probably would last a piss-handed individual like myself more than 3 times as long as an XL, and so they are worth more than 3 times the price. So this is worthwhile. The NYXL, supposedly different metals, some other crap, it also almost costs triple the XLs and holds up about the exact same, which is not that great. So, NYXL, not worth it. XS, worth it. XL, they work. At the end of the day, I am not a wealthy man, so I am not going to be buying XSs despite the fact that they last longer. I do not have $2,150 plus tax to pay for every set of electric guitar strings I need. So I'm going to stick with XLs primarily and just live with the rust. What strings are your favorite strings to use, and do you know of any other coated strings that are a little bit more affordable? Thank you for watching. Thank you to Patreon patrons and YouTube channel members, and thank you for considering subscribing to the channel. It helps out a lot. Bye.
Leave on the carriage light.